Hi, hello, how are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Maddie Bloom. I'm a science fiction and fantasy author working on a romantic science fantasy. And if you are not new here, thank you so much for coming back. It means the world to me. I think we're up to episode 8 of this Zero to First Draft series where I'm turning my scrawny, bare bones zero draft of A Collision of Stardust into a first draft. And I have to say, I think overall that this writing process has been very positive, and building up that daily writing habit has been really beneficial, not only for allowing myself to sink into the story and sink into the heads of the characters so I can make the best choices, but I also feel like I have been able to improve my problem solving skills when it comes to plotting. I think that yes, there are still some times where I'm making big changes from the zero draft, mostly in terms of characterization, because I feel like the base plot itself is right now pretty much where I want it. It is just the finer character details that do influence the plot, so it's still like a high level edit that is changing. And while, yes, I do get tripped up a bit, or I need to sit and really just ponder the choices that I want my characters to make, I feel like I'm able to much easier find the solution since I am in the story every single day. Even if I'm not writing a whole lot, I'm still making progress, and that is something that feels really good. I just crossed over the 25% mark, and I am into Act 2, so I'm not sure if I will need to beef up Act 1 a little bit since I have been in Act 2 for a few thousand words. So for a few thousand words. So that may be something I need to revisit on the next edit, but for right now, I think things are moving along in a way that I am pretty happy with. Which brings us to today, Saturday, July 11th. I wanted to do just a little weekend in my life since it has been so hot that I have not wanted to film or show my face because I am just feel like I'm dying. But at the same time, vlogging is fantastic for my accountability because when I tell you I want to do this or it's my goal to do this, I don't always hit it exactly, especially if it's like a higher goal. However, I do notice that I get a lot closer than if I was just by myself or just saying this to myself. So this is a little weekend in my life where we can be super productive and get some stuff done. So my goals for the weekend: I would like to write 4,000 words in A Collision of Stardust. I would like to create 2 weeks of social media. It is my goal to post once a day, minus Sundays to have a day off. And I had been doing pretty good, but I had created like a list of ideas, but then I would edit and write the caption the night before or even like the morning of when I was supposed to post it. And that is just not sustainable. I was getting really tired. So this will be my second day not posting. So I would like to get some batch content filmed if possible and make any necessary graphics and start at least getting a good framework of what I want the caption to be so it doesn't feel like I'm just phoning it in because I don't like that. My third goal is to finish my nonfiction read, which is Muskism, A Guide for the Perplexed. It's a pretty short guide and it is really phenomenal. I feel like I'm learning a lot, and I will be honest, it's not like I knew much about Musk other than recent developments and horrors and injustices that he has been doing. So I have found it incredibly interesting I'm seeing the consequences of stuff that has been in motion or in the works since before I was born. And so that has been kind of trippy because I think that it is so easy to see a choice or the results of a choice and think that it happened in fairly quick succession, but that just isn't the case. And so it has just been really interesting. And like I said, it's pretty short. So I would like to get this finished this weekend if possible. My final goal for the weekend is to finish MJ's critique. Wow, that was a long-winded introduction, so thank you for bearing with me. I think now it is time to actually start doing things rather than just talking about doing them, which is something that I am trying to get better about. Saying things is so much easier than the doing, but the doing is what matters. So without further ado, let's get to doing. I don't have my mic, so I hope the sound isn't too bad, but I want to read this sentence from part 2 of Muskism, and I think I talked about this book. Yeah, I did in my intro. I cannot recommend it enough, but this stood out to me. The future always arrives too early, sprouting from the subsoil of the present. That's it. But yeah, it really stood out to me, and I think it's such a great summary of how much of our present was already written in the past. And to me, this book is an explanation on, how someone like Musk comes to be and the prevailing ideology that can usher in like a generation of Musks. Yes, but it is also it's also telling us that we can write the future right now. Whether we will be able to experience that future isn't guaranteed, but where we are now in 2026 is just a series of consequences from a series of choices 30 plus years ago and up through the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, all of that. It's all choices. And even though this is kind of bleak, it isn't hopeless. And I think it's really made me think about like, what is the future that I want and probably many, many people want, fingers crossed, right? And what choices do we need to make now to write that future? I have 30 more pages of Muskism, and then I will be done. But I think I'm going to take a break to eat and finish up my word count. I ended yesterday with 2,400 words. So I was really, really happy with that. So I just need to get 1,600 words today then to meet that 4,000 word count goal. I also completed MJ's critique last night as well. So I think I'm in a really good spot. Like, I feel really good with all of the progress that I have made. Social media is definitely the thing that I have done the least amount of work on. We did it, Joe. It is 11 o'clock at night, but I ended up writing 4,163 words this weekend, and I could not be prouder of myself. That is such a huge accomplishment. I may try to push for that 4,000 word count each weekend until I finish this draft. I am in the process of ramping up toward the midpoint, and I think that I may have to beef up my fun and games section a little more, but I'm not going to stress about that right now. I do have a document where I can just take notes of the draft as I'm writing, as well as take notes with critique group feedback that I will be working on implementing. I think I'm going to attempt to edit the chunk that I submit to the critique group in the week following after I get the critique. It's not going to be a priority though. Finishing the draft is going to remain priority number one. But if I'm feeling, I have some extra brain power and energy, I would love to get started on that so I can start, implementing some of the edits. I finished Muskism, a guide for the perplexed, and I could not recommend this book more. This is definitely one I borrowed this one from the library, but I definitely want to buy my own copy, I think, because this was such a powerful, informative read, and I think that I need some time to like fully wrap my head around everything that I read and process my thoughts. But overall, I think it is incredibly apparent just how pathetic of a person Elon Musk is. And that's all I have to say about that. So, yeah, fantastic writing day, fantastic reading day. The only thing that I did not get to was social media for the next 2 weeks. And while that is kind of a bummer, I feel really accomplished. I feel really proud of myself. And it also has been so hot. Our air conditioning unit is not in yet. So it gets really, really hot in the middle of the day. So I'm not going to like punish myself for not filming because I definitely need to just like take things easy and not have a camera in my face during the hottest part of the day. So that is something that I will have to work on and build up that consistency, but overall I'm just really proud of everything that I got to do this weekend. Thank you so much for joining me and being my accountability buddy. If you need an accountability buddy, let me know what you are trying to accomplish, and I will be cheering you on until that deadline. I think that is all I have for this week's video. So if you enjoyed, giving this video a thumbs up or leaving a comment down below is always super helpful, and I love reading your comments. If you'd like to join my writing journey and publishing journey and just the journey of life, then you can subscribe to my channel. I try to post about once a week, and I think next week's is going to be about really looking at daily habits that I can implement into daily life and incorporating that with this daily writing routine and daily reading routine that I've been really enjoying. So thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me until this point, and I will see you in the next one.